Ron? Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to what seems to be the early edition of the March 9th, 2020. Hope everybody got their clocks moved forward. Ours hasn't. But anyway, the March 9th, 2020 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would everyone please join me in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board. To my right is Vice President Gary Merrill and Mike Fromer, our County Administrator. Commissioner Lewis is not with us today, but Jennifer Walraven is going to run the meeting, so we can begin.
Resolution number 20-224 in the matter of approving electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held March 5th, 2020.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 20-224. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment today, so that brings us to item number 3, resolution number 20-225, in the matter of approving purchase orders and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM APR 0306 and MT APR 0306.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 20-225. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-226, in the matter of acknowledging receipt of annexation petition from agent for the petitioner Michael R. Shade, attorney at law, requesting annexation of 1.062 acres of land in Troy Township to the city of Delaware.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 20-226. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-227, setting date and time for request for proposals for comprehensive case management and workforce innovation and Opportunity Act youth program services for Delaware County.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bob Anderson with Job and Family Services. Recently, we brought our CCMEP services in-house with the hiring of employees, but as part of the program, there are specific terms that have to be bid out that we cannot offer in-house, and this will be setting the time and date for those proposals.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 20-227. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
That brings us to page 620. Resolution number 20-228, in the matter of approving the First Amendment to the contract between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, the Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services, and SpeakRight LLC for verbal transcription services.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
This contract benefits our Children's Services Division. It's basically the transcription services that all of our staff uses when doing dictation on their cases, and we're just renewing for an additional year.
Oh, so this is just a renewal. It's not
Correct.
an increase to the original.
Correct. And
Okay.
actually, it's we did not expend what we anticipated last year, so it'll actually be a little bit less than we anticipated in our first year of the contract.
Okay. Do we coordinate with the courts or any other organization that requires transcription services?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay. That would be something good to consider. I know the sheriff has some, the courts use it. I don't know if they use this service or not, but.
Okay,
might be able
yeah, I
to-
can check into that.
Yeah, if you would, I think that'd be helpful.
Okay.
Vote.
Vote on motion 20-228. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-229, in the matter of approving a memorandum of understanding by and between Allen, Crawford, Delaware, Erie, Mercer, Ottawa, Wyandotte Board County Commissioners, and their respective county departments of Job and Family Services for a county shared services Group 8 project.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning. Recently, we had discussions about our shared services programs and looking at transitioning from what we call Collaborate into a new group, which is also Group 8. And this will reduce our shared services that we will coordinate with the counties mentioned on our Medicaid services and eligibility. And we will bring our SNAP and TANF projects in-house, and those will only be dealt with within Delaware County.
So I assume the group we're leaving is aware of it now, or?
They are aware. I'm going to do the official letter this afternoon once this MOU is approved. We are currently working with our telephone company to make the changes that we need internally, and we're also working with the state so that they can kind of, I say, throw the switch so that when people are calling to the 800 number, they are transferred to the appropriate group.
With the understanding of the transition?
Yeah, I've not really gotten any feedback yet.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 20-229. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-230, in the matter of approving the sanitary sewer improvement plans for Clarkshaw Reserve South, Section 1, Evans Farm South, Old State Road, Section 3, Liberty Grand Communities, Section 2, Phase A and B, and Liberty Grand Communities, Section 4.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. All of these are, sorry, this is Tiffany Mag, Director of Environmental Services. All of these plan sets have met our requirements at the sewer district, and Clarkshaw Reserve South is 31 units, and that's located on the northwest corner of Sawmill and Heights Road. The new Evans Farm South, Old State Road, Section 3, that's located on Old State Road, just north of Lewis Center Road, and that's going to be on the east side of Old State Road. There's 18 lots in that section. Liberty Grand Communities, Section 2, Phase A and B, there's 36 single-family lots, 21 multifamily buildings, a total of 96 units in a clubhouse in that section. That's on the north side of Liberty Grand Boulevard, which will be the new road, the new main road through their development, just off of Sawmill. And then Liberty Grand Communities, Section 4, there's 36 multifamily buildings for a total of 309 units in Section 4. And that's, of course, located in that same area.
The Evans Farm section that you're talking about, is that the one that the road will go through and connect into Old State?
No, that's the one, it's actually, it's going to be east of Old State Road. It's more estate lots. We have our existing.
Oh, it's east of Old
Yeah,
State?
we have our existing
Okay.
Peach Blow pump station that's located
Right.
right near Elm Creek. So that's going to be decommissioned, and we're going to run a gravity line almost through this section 3 over to our new pump station that's going to be located on Old State Road, and all these lots are going to connect into that new gravity line. So it's really just a cul-de-sac section over there.
Okay, okay.
That was their original Parade of Home site back 5 years ago.
Okay, I thought, yeah.
But it never moved
But
forward.
it's, I guess I forgot they had some land east of Old State.
Yeah, and they've really had to wait until our project goes so that they can connect in
Sure.
to our sewer. So we're getting ready to bid ours, so they're getting their plans completed as well.
Okay. All right, vote.
Vote on motion 20-230. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-231, in the matter of approving the sanitary sewer subdividers agreement for Woodcrest Crossing, Section 1.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
So this is a standard subdividers agreement. It has 60 condo lots and a clubhouse located off of the new Stites Road, just south of Clarkshaw Road.
Okay. All right, vote.
Vote on motion 20-231. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-232, in the matter of accepting sanitary sewer improvements for Vinmar Village, Section 4, sanitary sewer improvements, Carriage Cove, sanitary sewer improvements, Clarkshaw Reserve Trunk Sewer, and Morris Station, sanitary sewer improvements.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
So all of these projects have been constructed and met all of our requirements at the sewer district. Vinmar Village, Section 4, has 41 single-family lots. That's off of Old 3C Highway, just south of Lewis Center Road. Carriage Cove has 11 condo units, and that's the northwest corner of Carriage Road and Liberty Road and Powell. Clarkshaw Reserve Trunk Sewer, that's actually a 12-inch down to an 8-inch trunk sewer that goes from the Woodcrest trunk sewer all the way over to Stites Road, and that's located near Sawmill. And then Morris Station is 21 single-family lots. That's off of Adventure Park Drive and Liberty Road. That was the subdivision that originally, I think one of the homeowners reached out to you because they were going to be tearing up their driveway. So we were able to relocate where that sewer line went to avoid that homeowner's driveway. So.
I appreciate that.
Good. All right, vote.
Vote on motion 20-232. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye. Thanks, Tiffany.
Resolution number 20-233, in the matter of approving right-of-way work permit summary sheet.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. We had 11 permit applications for work in the public right-of-way, and these are all routine utility installations.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 20-233. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-234, in the matter of awarding a bid and approving a contract for the projects known as 2020-2021 roadside mowing north and 2020-2021 roadside mowing south.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
This contract would provide for 2 years of roadside mowing. The second year would be at our option, assuming Thompson Roadside Mowing does a good job this year. They also had our contract for the last 2 years, and so they've done good work, and we don't have any hesitation about awarding this contract. This includes basically 2 contracts that total right around 300 miles of county roads. The remaining 45 miles plus or minus is mowed by our own in-house crews. And so these contracts include 4 rounds of mowing. It's really all rural, 2-lane open ditch roadside mowing, whereas our crews generally do the more suburban areas that require finish mowing.
How does this pricing compare to the previous year?
Right off the top of my head, it's not a huge increase. I can get you the exact numbers, but it wasn't significant.
Okay. All right, vote.
Vote on motion 20-234. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-235, in the matter of awarding a bid and approving a contract for the project known as Curve Sign Project Rebid, Delaware County.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
So if you'll recall, we had to rebid this contract due to the original contract coming in over to the estimate. During the rebidding, 2 of the participating townships informed us that they are going to go ahead and pursue another avenue to install those signs on their curves. And so the resulting quantities, result in about a $90,000 contract, which is well under our original estimate. The equivalent bid would have been under our estimate anyway, so had they not pulled out of this contract. And so basically what this means is the remaining townships will do the work this summer and then bill the townships at the completion of the work.
So what exactly is this, Rob?
So this will include...
Replacing signs?
This will, some replacement of some existing signs, but mostly installation of new curve warning signs. These are the yellow curve ahead and the chevron, the arrow shaped signs that you see at highway curves. Years ago, the Federal Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices was updated by the federal government. And in essence, what the manual does is it creates a mandate to update curve warning signs, and that obviously failure to do that exposes any agency to some liability, potential liability at least. So that's basically what this contract is designed to do, is to bring those curves into compliance and obviously improve safety at those curves.
Are they going to do it in-house, or are they going to, they found a cheaper contractor, or?
The other 2, the 2 townships, my understanding is they're going to try to install those signs themselves. Yeah, we'll help them any way we can. It's just my understanding they wanted to pursue another direction.
Okay. All right, vote.
Vote on motion 20-235. Mr. Merrill? Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-236, in the matter of approving a project agreement between Delaware County Board of Commissioners and the Delaware County Transportation Improvement District for the road and sanitary improvements at Hyatt's Road and US 23.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
I know you're familiar with this project. This is the Hyatt's Road pump station and road improvements. This agreement would provide for the $7.1 million payment to the TID to complete this project. Schedule on that project is to have basically all of the road work done by this fall, and then the pump station operational by January of next year. And so looking forward to getting that project done.
Yeah, this is a big project that'll transform that whole area along 23, which is near the entrance to Delaware County, so it's nice that it is getting done. Can you just briefly explain what road work is being done? I don't think 23 is going to change a whole lot, but it's mainly Hyatt's and Shanahan.
It looks like some trees have already been removed. If I
Yes.
visually, I drove through there over the weekend.
That's correct. The road work will include the east and west approaches to that intersection. So Hyatt's Road and Shanahan Road will add turn lanes approaching US 23. There's a couple of large culverts that need to be replaced not replaced. One is actually extended, and we'll have to install some retaining walls in order to fit that turn lane section in just west of the intersection. And then farther west, we'll have to replace a large culvert. And so that adds to the price tag. But yeah, the major need at that intersection was the turn lanes, because you only have a single lane approach, which, one left turning vehicle waiting for a through vehicle in the opposite direction slows everyone down behind them. So.
Yeah, and there were narrow roads to begin with, approaching a very busy highway and so on, so. Okay, so the main thing is to add turn lanes on both Hyatt's and Shanahan,
Yes.
as well as obviously the pump station, which will allow that area to develop and get improved, so good. Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 20-235. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Or, I'm sorry, that was 236. Resolution number 20-237, in the matter of declaring a necessity for the corridor study of proposed new roadway named Veterans Parkway and approving a professional service agreement with Arcadis US Incorporated.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
So this is I would call this a pretty major undertaking we are proposing to start. The name, we are totally up to revising that or taking input from you on what we are going to call this road. That's kind of a placeholder for now. But this road would extend ultimately from the current Glen Road and US 36 intersection north and west, terminating at the Panhandle Road Bridge over the over the Olentangy River. The first phase of this road would go to State Route 521 through the Career Center, Bixby campus property. And so this contract includes the final design for that section from 36 up to 521. And so our goal is to get those plans done in about a year, and then hopefully be in position to build that road in 2022, 23, having it open shortly after we move into that building. So that's a priority. And then the second component of this contract will involve studying that corridor that remains north of 521 up to 42 and then west over towards the Panhandle Bridge. So I would expect there to be several different options in terms of locating that road that we'll examine, looking at the most feasible alignment within that corridor. And so I'd expect over the next 6 to 12 months some public involvement and outreach efforts with some of our local stakeholders as well as the general public. And so you'll hear more about this moving forward. I think this is a really important project. It was actually one of the projects identified in the US 23 corridor study, basically having that northeast bypass, if you will, around Delaware. And so we're pretty excited to get started with this. The first section obviously is for selfish reasons, maybe not so selfish, but I want to have the road in sooner than later. So
So the west of 521, those some portions, that could be in Delaware City, correct? So
yes.
they will have some involvement financially, I assume, as well?
Well, that's to be determined. We have had some discussions with the city, so they're well aware of the project and the phasing we're proposing. We will have to have some discussions on how this gets paid for. The first section, obviously, we have a priority need for that first section. The remaining sections, there's some flexibility on potentially using some federal funding. We've had some discussions with ODOT as well. And so we're going to pursue all the avenues that are available for the remaining sections.
Are you, I'm kind of curious, why is this being done now? I know we've had some conversation with ODOT, and they seem very interested in easing the traffic on 23, and I think it makes sense to all of us that 23 is really a challenge from a traffic standpoint. So
Sure.
what's prompted this to be, this particular phase of this to be done now?
Well,
Obviously, the 521 connection
Yes.
is urgent with the career center, but
yeah, and I think it partly goes back to the corridor study, frankly, and looking at some of the data that the city actually developed in their thoroughfare planning effort. The amount of traffic that wants to or is going from 36 to 23 north and south is a pretty big portion of the traffic that comes into the city from the east side. And so this is one of those things that it's not just a traffic carrier, but obviously this will create some opportunities for development along that corridor. So, in terms of why now, frankly, we probably would have done this project 5 years ago had we not been working on Sawmill Parkway at the time. But I think this is the right time to get started with this project.
okay. How many miles is it exactly, Rob, do you know?
It'd be about 4 miles, just over 4 miles from 36 up to the Panhandle Bridge. The section that would end at 521 is just under a mile.
Okay. All right, well, good topic, and hopefully we can get this done fairly soon. So, vote.
Vote on motion 20-237. Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Resolution number 20-238, a resolution authorizing the county to enter into a loan agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation and deliver a related note in the maximum principal amount of $3,382,400 for the purpose of paying the cost of resurfacing Africa and Cheshire Road, each between certain termini, together with all necessary and related appurtenances thereto, and authorizing the execution of any additional documents related thereto.
So moved.
Second, discussion. That was a long one.
Thanks, Jennifer. Good job on that. So this has taken a long time and a lot of work by a lot of different people to get to this point. I'd like to thank Eric Hostetler for his work on this. The project I know you're familiar with involves resurfacing and shoulder paving on Africa Road between Jaycox and Cheshire Road, as well as the Cheshire Road Causeway. The genesis for this project is basically the original funding for this project was in the 2023 state budget through an allocation of funds that flow through MORPC. We had this project basically ready to go. We wanted to move it up and not wait until 2023. And so the only way to do this or to do such a thing is to procure a SIB loan through ODOT. We explored a bunch of different alternatives. That's basically the only one that ODOT would allow us to use. And so this will, I believe the loan amount, the loan amount's $3.38 million. We will have to pay the interest on that loan, but we will pay 20% of the interest on that loan. 80% of the interest will be paid by MORPC's federal funding applied to this project. And so the remainder is actually covered by some additional funding that MORPC allowed to this project that they previously were not going to provide. And so at the end of the day, we're made whole in essence on this loan request. And so, anxious to get this project done. It's been about 6 months or more that we've been working on this loan package. So I can answer any questions you may have.
Any, you've brought numerous actions to the board in the last month or two. Any changes to the timeline this summer?
No.
On this project?
Construction schedule is still the same. We'll start work in June and have it wrapped up by September.
Okay. All right. Yep, but let's vote.
Vote on motion 20-238. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Resolution number 20-239, in the matter of setting the date and time for a public hearing for PY 2018 Community Development Block Grant CDBG Amendment.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Zach Dowley, Economic Development. This will be a public hearing to, as part of our citizens' participation requirement for a grant amendment for our CDBG back in 2018. We have a great project with Regional Sewer to provide tap-ins for a couple of residents who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, this is just setting the hearing date for March 23rd, I think.
March 23rd, that's correct.
Okay. Vote?
Vote on motion 20-239. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
We are pulling number 18. You'll see that again on Thursday. And that brings us to item number 19, resolution number 20-240, in the matter of approving an engagement letter between the Delaware County and the Auditor of State's Office for the FY 2019 audit.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. George Kaitza, Delaware County Auditor. Commissioners, this is the standard engagement letter with the Auditor of State to authorize us to proceed with the 2019 audit of Delaware County, and the standard terms that have been in place for all of our prior audits. The cost for this audit will be $101,188. And this resolution authorizes us to proceed and enter into that agreement.
Memory serves me, it's gone up a little bit.
Pardon me?
If memory serves me, it's gone up a little bit, I think. it's-
Well, it has over time, particularly as Delaware County has become much more complex, and of course, we have more GASB requirements that come online. This year, GASB 84 will kick in. It's actually slightly lower than last year. Last year, it was 102,500. What happened last year was that we had to add the Lower Scioto facility, as well as the repayment from the community authority for the loan advanced by the county. So that we had to do an amendment last year to cover that portion of the audit. So this year, as I said, it's just slightly less than what it was last year, but going back to 2014 rather, we were paying about $84,000 a year.
I was going to
So
guess about 80 from what I remember, so
Yep.
maybe I'm remembering 2 years ago, or...
You're absolutely correct.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 20-240. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you very much,
Thanks, George.
Commissioners.
That brings us to administrator reports.
Good morning, Commissioners. You'll see in the fishbowl across the way that we have started wellness screening. For this year's wellness program, the screenings are being done at several facilities, and which is the easiest way to get your assessment done and blood work and everything like that. So just wanted to put a plug in for that, and that's all I have.
Okay, very good.
I guess you're forced to go with me, aren't you? No debate today. I have 3 things. I was privileged last Thursday to speak at Willowbrook Run. Bob Gaffey from my Rotary Club asked me several months ago would I do that. Marissa was there to help, and a great help she was, and I'd say it was a very engaged group. Roughly about an hour, I think it was an hour, and they had a lot of good questions and a lot of feedback, and I thought it went really well. Township meeting, which Mr. Ben and I both attended Thursday evening, I know there's an effort to try to revive the township meetings, and I thought they did a really good job Thursday night. They had done probably 4, I didn't count them, but townships kind of talking about their townships and what's going on, and I think that's probably a township in the south probably has no clue what's going on in a township in the north, and And I thought it was very interesting and very helpful, and I thought the township representatives did a really, really good job, with a little humor in some cases.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So, and number three, I will report it, and if I don't, you will. The Delaware County EMS was selected as the EMS service for the year. And according to the email we got from Jeff, to his knowledge, this will be the first time Delaware County has ever received that award. So congrats to all involved, and it's pretty special, and it just reinforces how great a group we have. So turned over to you.
I did have that on my list.
I suspected you would.
Yeah, so congratulations, it's great. We've been getting a lot of awards and recognitions, and EMS is doing a fantastic job. It's great to see them get a little more recognition. MORPC Executive Committee, we had Thursday, and there were two things I want to mention. The engineer's office did submit a bid for some federal funding through what's called INFRA for the 3637 interchange, second interchange. So those were one of the two projects in Central Ohio endorsed by MORPC, so we'll see how that goes. They did also mention that both DATA, the Delaware Area Transit, and Alpha Group got sizable Federal Transportation Agency, I think it's FTA, awards, grants. So that certainly helps them with their organizations and their costs. DKMM is here tomorrow at 1:30. I think we've got that on the calendar. And the TID is Wednesday. Oh, shoot, I forgot to ask Rob while he was here. We're not going to have the TID
It's
after all?
been canceled.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure we knew whether it was canceled or not, because I knew there was a possibility. And that is it. We do have need for executive session.
We do. Resolution number 20-241, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment and compensation of a public employee or public official to consider the sale of property at competitive bidding for pending or imminent litigation and for security arrangements and emergency response protocols.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 20-241. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
All right, we're in executive session.